are going to be moving on to game number 3. It is Ciara versus Thorzain here for the TeamSpeak TL Open number 8. I'm djWHEAT. Joining me is Chill, and we are about to jump into game number 3.
Link engaged.
And here we are, game 3, and the map that was picked was Shakura's Plateau. You know, as a Zerg player, I think Shakura's Plateau is a really solid map, but there's one thing as a Zerg player that I always hate, Chill, and that
I know what
is
you're gonna say.
when I spawn versus a Terran in these exact positions.
Right.
And here it is right here. So we've got Thorzain in the southwest position, the lower, you know, the 7 o'clock, and his opponent in the 5 o'clock position in the southeast, Ciara. And the reason why this sucks is because more times than not, if the Terran ever commits to going through there and has siege tanks, it just becomes the biggest pain in your ass that you could possibly imagine, just like putting guys down there and just putting you on, you know, guard on the front and the back. So this will be an interesting matchup.
You know, it's kind of similar to what we saw pushing through the center of Scrap Station, but despite being wider, it's somehow worse. Like, I think it's because of these funneling ramps where the destructible rocks are covering on either side. If Terran gets up down there and actually starts hitting your extractor, and on top of that, he can expand while he's pushing. I mean, he can take this 6 o'clock base while he's pushing to kill your main. So it kind of becomes this time bomb where Zerg is trying to expand up the right side of the map and just dealing with that. But we may never see that because we've got 2 forward barracks coming right now, and yet again another 15 hatchery for Ciara as he takes his expansion, and looks like he's going to make another drone. So going up to 15 here, he's comfortable. He's going to see that they're not cross positions, they are indeed horizontal. I'm watching really closely how Thorzain is going to play this out, because he can play it out just pressuring, or he can play it, you know, like he's got a minute to win it, and I want to see how he follows this up.
Yeah, I mean, it is surprising to see this thrown down without any sort of knowledge of where his opponent might be. You know, it just, there's a lot of different options you could do with that, but once he finds out that he has, you know, this position that just goes right to the Zerg natural, he might be really happy about that, and that's going to work out nicely. It's a little bit longer walk to the main from that position, but he's going to definitely be the aggressor here with the bunker going down, and we saw him try to do this earlier. Let's see if the drones, we are going to have 3 drones making their way down here. Of course, SCV is going to back off a little bit as the first Marine makes his way up.
And the spawning pool about to finish. Spawning pool has finished, but nothing is being made. This isn't Warcraft 3. You got to make units, and here come the drones with 6 Zerglings on the way. Second Marine is going to join them. Oh my god, those drones were pulled back at the perfect timing. Oh my god, Ciara, you're so good. And now putting down that Spinecrawler. No canceled. Spinecrawler goes down yet again. Bunker gets canceled. A few Marines getting tagged there by the drones a little bit. Nothing lost yet, and here come the Zerglings. He's got to keep them on creep. He can't chase these Marines, or they're going to bounce back and forth and pick them out. Now 4 Marines. Let's see what Thorzain can do. He should be able to win this battle. 4 Marines against 6 Zerglings, taking out 1 Zergling. It's getting really close here. Another Marine joining the fight, and looks like Ciara, for all intents and purposes, has held it off as he's got that Spinecrawler to fall back to.
Yeah, I mean, he handled his Zerglings pretty well there. He did lose everything, but he also does know, as you mentioned, he's got that Spinecrawler there for a little bit of help. Now, taking his actually his first gas just now, which means that he's still quite a ways away from not only speed, but if he wanted to go that way, Banelings, and we do still have Marines sort of forming a little ball here, now marching to the lower Xel'Naga cavern. Meanwhile, the Terran is going to expand around 29 and throwing down his second gas. So a little surprising that we're going to have speed so late, because as you mentioned, you know, speed is almost just becoming that absolute staple. Like, why are you not just getting it as quickly as possible? Some guys starting it before even they start and make their first Zergling. So, you know, he's going to be okay with this, though. It looks like he just wants to play a little bit longer game.
I keep clicking on Thorzain's barracks, and they're still rallied to the natural of Ciara. I don't know what he's doing. and he's manually grabbing them as they walk by. I'm so nervous every time he makes a Marine. I'm not sure why he hasn't fixed that rally, but the one that he didn't lift off is still rallied the Zerg natural. But what I like about his play was he doesn't commit to that all in, and then he just expands, walls off. He's completely, you know, 1,000,000% safe, even though that doesn't exist. And then he takes his 2 refineries right away because he knows he's safe, and he immediately starts shooting up the tech path. Super, super nice play by him. And meanwhile, Ciara's in the dark. Who knows what's going on in that main base? It could be Banshees, it could be Thors, it could be tanks, it could be, you know, 7 more barracks. No idea, and he's just got to sit back, get speed, maybe even get a Baneling nest. We can see he's getting a lair, and he's actually getting another spine crawler, just because he's not sure. And this is, you know, Terran's advantage, denying scouting and playing to your strengths. So I really love this play by Thorzain.
Yeah, and how the Zerg is kind of reacting here. Of course, speed is almost done. More lings. There's the Baneling nest, and also all 4 gases are going to go into full effect here for the Zerg. So it may means that he is going to try to go for Lair as well. Spire as well. Once you know, he's got the gas and he's made some Banelings. I don't know. One thing you mentioned about game 1 was Thorzain not really having a Baneling-proof wall. And in this case, you know, obviously taking a lot more to take down a barracks. Could take out this tech lab over here, but then you put yourself in that funneled choke that's easy for the Terran units to just chew your stuff apart. So we'll have to see what he's doing, but there the Baneling nest is down, and he will go for speed immediately, which I like, and there is the Spire. So I think that Ciara is definitely in a much more comfortable position than I think he's ever been in the prior 2 games.
Yeah, and another thing I want to point out about Ciara, look at his creep train. He's got one heading toward the middle of the map, but he's also got this one at the bottom that's heading towards Thorzain's main base, and I really like this. Thorzain now moving in. He steps on the creep, scans immediately, take out all the creep tumors. If I'm Ciara, I'm sitting all the way back, waiting for him to come to my spine crawlers. Let's see what he does. Scans, Baneling's going in without speed. Zergling's trying to surround. Baneling's going to get in. One Baneling hits, but the others do not do too much damage. Zergling's coming in to clean up, and that is going to be probably an army trade, we're going to have to call it. Zerg probably getting the better of it as he's getting a lot of freedom. Spire almost finished and only making Zerglings now. I'd like to see him save his larva, get the mutas out, take a 3rd base, and really take this to the late game, because that is where Zerg excels on far positions against Terran.
Now, Chill, let me ask you this, because this is just something that didn't make sense to me. Like, that Terran looked like he was looking for a fight, right? Like, he was even ready to poke his head up that ramp. And, you know, kind of did. And the Zerg decided to go out and fight, including taking his Banelings and really swinging them out too far. Now, he's got these 2 spine crawlers right here that could have aided him in that battle immensely. Why do you think that he decided to just move out there? Do you just feel like that was just a bad battle decision?
As the Zerg, I think the Zerg knew he could trade with that army and take it out. And as he does that, look what he's doing at top right. Now that he's traded the army, it takes Terran a lot longer to rebuild his army. So Zerg takes that time to not only build this 3rd expansion, he also builds the 4th expansion, because he knows maybe there will be some tricky units like Banshees, but there's not going to be a big, beefy army coming at me again. So I don't really need those units. I can take another expansion, and then when Terran moves out, then I can make my army. In terms of Terran Thorzain's decision-making, I don't know why he was looking for a fight. That seems like a really strange time to really poke your head all the way into the Zerg natural. Maybe he thought Zerg just droned too hard and would take a peek, but I can't really explain it.
Wow, well, Ciara right now, the Zerg, you said he responded with 2 more hatcheries. Absolutely right. Also responds with 2 more gas. And that could mean that, you know, well, first off, it will help him not only keep the Baneling production up, but also the mutas. And first mutas are making their way into the base of Thorzain. We do have at least 1 missile turret up in the main, but taking out those SCVs that we're currently constructing 2 more barracks. In comes a stim forced out of those Marines, and they will get out of there. I don't even think we got our first medevac out. It is actually in production. No, it won't be, because 2 Vikings are going to come out, and I just think that he'll continue this muta production. +1 for muta is about to finish as well, and he is going to get these expansions up with literally, I mean, no opposition at all, and that is going to let the Zerg just creep forward with a huge advantage.
And you know, Ciara has hit his stride, the Zerg player. I feel really, really nervous for Thorzain, looking at the supply, it's 94 for the Terran player, 138 for the Zerg player. Income tab, probably going to show a similar story, 46 harvesters and 73 drones. So really huge disparity there. Look at the saturation at all of these bases. I mean, the main completely saturated, natural oversaturated, third base fully saturated already. We've got creep spread through the middle, and I mean, the income just tells the tale. Zerg is going to continue to make Zergling, Baneling, Muta head towards that devastating hive, which opens up Banelings and Ultralisk. And Terran has one chance, which is what he's doing. Break down the destructible rocks, push through the bottom, and try to punish Zerg's main. So I really love this response.
Yeah, and, well, hold on. Here come the mutas to the natural. There are a couple of missile turrets, but he is starting to reach a real nice amount of mutas here. So we do have the army moving in from the back while the mutas continue to harass here. They're going to go ahead and continue to heal that missile turret, but he is going to keep locked on it. And this is being devastating here to the economy of the Terran, and he is going ahead and he will push forward. And this is exactly what I was talking about, Chill. This is, I mean, can be really hard to deal with, but the thing is that he's still got a lot of mutas. He's doing a lot of damage to the guys up front here, but there's still a lot back here. He's going to have to get rid of those siege tanks with the mutas and then use those banelings real nicely, get rid of those marines, and he could GG this, but he's going to have to be careful not just to throw units into that siege line.
And you know what's a key factor here is with the creep spread, the Terran player cannot build turrets. That's a huge part of this push, the turrets. Now with the Marines moving up, so many Banelings and Zerglings ready, gonna flank with the Mutas. This is gonna be devastating if the Terran gets hit with this ball. Mutas flying in to try to take out the back siege tank. Marines coming back. Oh my god, Zerglings, Banelings moving in, hitting the tanks. Big mistake there, but so many Mutas may be able to clean up. Gonna try to take out the tank. Oh my god, I can't. Holy, Terran has killed the entire Zerg army, less a few mutas and banelings. How did that even happen? Do you believe in magic? Zerg way down at 126 now, lost about 40 plus supply on that last attack. Terran moving forward, pressing the issue. He knows that he's got to do damage here. Moving in, going to work on the hatchery. Baneling's trying to roll in. One gets sniped, another one gets sniped. Oh my god, this battle is going back and forth.
It's frustrating to watch because I think that this kind of attack puts the Zerg on such tilt that he is willing to just run into the siege line, and we saw the massive amount of banelings get completely destroyed by those backline tanks, and now he's just starting to lift them up. But this is perfect now. The Mutalisk going around the back, getting rid of 2 siege tanks. Now we see the Marines having to move out of the way. Pick away at that army, take it out a little bit of a time, but just, here he's going to go in for another attack. Will the banelings get targeted? Yes, and he has no banelings when he goes in there. You go from so many banelings to absolutely no banelings, and I just think that is a huge mistake by the Zerg.
Yeah, and I'm going to need you to take over for a sec, Wheat.
Okay, well, Baneling's getting morphed here at the top of the ramp. Will they be able to get and do the damage? No, Stim Marines will get away yet again, and they will just continue to stim away. They will take out this hatchery now. Thankfully, the Zerg player has that third hatchery up, and that is not going to be the most devastating loss in the world. Only a few minerals left on there. However, Pool's going to be gone pretty soon. You can guarantee that. He's going to go ahead and move everything out of the natural as well. Does he have another lair? No, he doesn't. So he does have another hatchery up here, dropping another expansion here. But pretty much the Terran said, I own your base now. And this is scary because the Spire's here, the Baneling's nest is here. So the Zerg is basically going to have to start over again. But the Terran, he's almost mined out at main, almost mined out at the natural. Is he going to build it in the middle? I don't know. But we just have more tanks, more Marines coming out here. And what would be really great for the Zerg, and how I think that a lot of Zerg should at least consider dealing with that, is you've got speed and get the sacks. The problem is now the lair's gone, and this is going to be just the Zerg's hanging on here with everything that they've got. Tanks are going to siege up. They're going to get in there before they siege. In comes the Banelings. Banelings are going to be dropped down. We do have quite a few Marines actually dying to those Banes, and some more going down as well. And look at that. The Zerg actually attacking mid-siege will be able to hold this off. They get rid of all those Marines, and now these medevacs are just free right now, making their way over. And if the Zerg actually manages to sort of, I guess, recuperate himself, and he takes out about 3 medevacs. He's morphing in some more Banelings. I want to see where he rebuilt his buildings here. Yes, everything rebuilt at that top expansion, making it almost a cross position now. Saturated here, 2 more gas going up. We do have a Terran expansion going up here, and is morphing to Planetary Fortress. Take out that siege tank and take out it before it reaches Planetary Fortress, and this could be really good, and he will manage to do it. Oh my god, if the Zerg pulls this off after losing all of that stuff, I would be pretty surprised. I think that he probably could have handled those armies much better. But he is handling all these small forces. And look at that. Command center has to lift. And in come a few more siege tanks. But there are no Marines to help defend this. And those Mutalisks, even though there's a handful of them, are going to easily take out those siege tanks. And the Terran is just getting picked at a little bit of a time. And we could see a Zerg versus Terran final yet again here between Ciara and Empire Cost. The Zerg just continues to move forward. You can see more Zerglings being reproduced. At this point, there's literally no economy for the Terran. They're sitting on about 250 minerals. SCV's coming out to try to help heal this bunker. Well, finally the Zerg is going to go ahead and back off. He's at a point where he can just win this if he just takes this slowly. Still has his Baneling nest. We've got the Spire up. He's going to rebuild the hatchery there, and already did. I think he did that just to try to save his Spire here. So he built his Spire just in case. Let's see what he decides to do. This could be a final push here by the Terran. They have basically nothing else. They're making tanks right now. They're going to try to get this expansion up, and they're interrupting the SCV, transferring over. Some Marines do ward them off, so the Terran will find himself with expansion once again. However, look at the amount of Banelings and Zerglings here. Are you back, Chill? This could be nasty.
Yeah, this is going to be disgusting as Zerg is moving through the center. Supplies tell the tale. 141 for Zerg, 62 for Terran. Looks like Zerg wants to run around. Is he going to drive in for the natural? Yes, he is. Moving in with Zerglings. Banelings have it. Banelings actually splitting up. Did you see that? Oh my god. It doesn't even matter what you do, even if you're a Marine King here. Just getting completely killed, and that is it. GG. Ciara coming back after losing his main, his natural, and a good portion of his army again and again to win the Battle of Warcraft 3 and take down Thorzain. That was a really nice game.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice that he was able to win that one. I felt like he could have handled that backdoor attack a little bit better. But the fact that he lost everything and regained himself, I'll tell you, the reason why he did not flat out lose right there is because he took that 3rd and 4th, Chill. If he would not have had that 3rd and 4th, that would have, I think, been GG right there. He ended up the Terran pushed forward. He lost his he lost his lair. He had to rebuild that. If he would have not had that far away 4th base, I think that could have ended up being real nasty. Recuperated nicely, getting that 3rd as well. And that was definitely a good map pick for him. I think he played that really well. He had that practiced, and unfortunately the Terran didn't scout. Could have taken out one of those expansions. They weren't heavily defended.